There we go.
We're at the RAI in Amsterdam, and this is the hackathon, the Salesforce Hackathon, organized by Amsterdam. Guys, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Paul Manwaring. I am creative director of Glimworm ITBV, and right now we're here at the hackathon making prototypes surrounding the Salesforce API and iBeacon technology.
And I like the name Glimworm. So what does Glimworm stand for? What do you do?
Well, we started about 14 years ago with the idea that the small guy, without a lot of resources, should be enabled through technology to communicate using the web and other technical platforms. So our whole concept was to make the little guy shine. So Glimworm is a little light that shines.
Okay, that sounds good. So okay, democratized, how do you say it?
Democratized.
Yeah. So how did you do that? Because you're partners, right?
Yeah, I'm John Tillema, and I'm actually an industrial designer at Tweetonig. Industrial design from focusing on developing smart products for the masses. So always focusing on mass production. And actually we joined forces in making Glimworm beacons, a Dutch iBeacon product, where Glimworm started off with the first idea, and actually we took it to production level. And
so shall we first start with iBeacon, for who doesn't know what it is?
An iBeacon is a Bluetooth-enabled beacon that instead of connecting with your phone is just sending out a signal, which can be used in almost every solution, every place.
Yeah, but people always come up with solutions for shops, isn't it? Because it's always what you hear is always the commercial.
Retail will be the first enabler, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But it's not just about retail. It's really about. I think it's one of the most significant developments for the Internet of Things to then become pervasive and valuable on all platforms. It's for health platforms, mobility, cultural. There's all sorts of benefits.
Yeah. So for example, I remember when the mobile phones came, and then you did get things like a layer that promised you could walk around town and see what the value of a house was.
Yeah,
but of course it never was.
Never took off.
No, it never worked because the other signals weren't fine enough. So that's what basically that problem is what the beacon solves.
Well, the beacon specifically solves. Oh, go ahead, John.
Yeah. No, it's a better location-based kind of beacon. So where we used to do everything with GPS, which is a lot of battery consuming and fixed. Actually, with a beacon we can make a dynamic beacon. I can put this in a taxi cab, or it doesn't matter, and it is very low energy. So low energy, cheap, and location-based. It could enable new augmented reality solutions, but it can trigger all kinds of different solutions because they are cheap, low battery. It can be built in like sunglasses, or can build in like your keychain or your pet, or it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and what do you have here? What is it?
This is the Glimworm beacon actually.
That's right.
That's how small it is. There's only one coin cell battery in it. We run for like a year and a half, and this time it just hang it on the wall, and it will keep on sending and pushing a signal, predefined for an app that listens to it. And if the app listens to it, you can actually give them all kind of signals, actions, everything that a smartphone can do, but only in that location.
Yeah. And can you make it for me as an outsider a bit more specific? Because it can do everything. Can you give me a couple of use cases?
Yes.
From the WMO.
From the WMO? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, so the WMO program is about trying to shift the expense and the responsibility of community healthcare from large municipal institutions to local communities. So our concept was you could have, using the Salesforce platform, you could create a sort of a platform in which you can enable actions by the iBeacon. Say, for instance, a pill bottle has a beacon-enabled pill bottle. So you can detect whether it's been moved or not, and it's been opened or not, and how many times a day. So, for instance, Frank is the use case. he's mentally handicapped. He has an infection. He has to take his pills 3 times a day at specific times. So the iBeacon technology can then upload that data to a database passively. But then it can also contribute to a platform where there's a dashboard where somebody in the community can be alerted if he doesn't take his pills, or then maybe his primary caregiver can be alerted, or the WMO agent can be alerted, but they can then configure a system where they can share and distribute information so that they can help take care of Frank and enable the community to take that over from the municipality.
Yeah. And you say specifically, you talk all the time about sending signals.
The beacon actually is really like a beacon. It's only transmitting a signal. So you really always...
So are we not going to miss receiving signals then? Shouldn't we have a two-way
two-way communication? Yeah, of course. But that's what Bluetooth always was about.
Yeah.
But the beauty actually is that this is more like sending location-based. And so the smart thing, of course, the two-way conversation will be on your smartphone. But the nice thing about this, and that's how it really fits in the Internet of Things kind of thing, is that it really gives a passive way of reacting with it. So actually in the example of Frank actually don't have to do anything else. He just has to open his pill bottle like he would always do, and everybody around him who cares about him can check up on him, but Frank really he doesn't even know.
So it's not only, you say in this case, it's not only the location, but it signals as well if it's opened or not.
Yeah.
You can configure all sorts of Internet of Things objects to sense movement.
So weight as well, so you know if because opening is one thing, but of course
all kind of censoring. And you can do photo cells just to see which pill has been taken. I mean, it can be as complex as you really want to be.
And you can create a bottle that would then alert the pharmacy that he only has 1 pill left. Therefore, fill his prescription and deliver it to his house.
Yeah. So, in what phase of the beacons are we? Because you're busy with this. How?
In the early adaptive phase. I mean, like you said, for example, the killer function is in retail right now. That's where you see immediately the feedback. And there are people willing to innovate in this area. So that's actually where we do a lot of, the most of tryouts.
Most of it, yeah. But also we're doing culture.
It's a shame that it always ends up immediately only in e-commerce.
That's a misperception, because actually, to tell you what's really going on, the Philips Museum in Eindhoven are using our beacons to enable a interactive gaming platform for their new exhibition, which opens on the 12th of June, called Project Eureka? Project Eureka, about 100 years of innovation in Philips. So
there's no retail experience.
It's not retail. That's a cultural experience.
Yeah.
And it's enabled through iBeacons.
Hey, and you made this case, you designed it, developed it, etc. yourself. Is this a prototype? Is this on the market? This
is ready for sale now. Actually, if you go to glimmerbeacons.com, you can actually order it per pack of 4. Actually, we're selling them, and actually we designed it this way that it's now a very blend-in kind of shape. But we do a lot of rebranding in different colors and logos if you order larger quantities.
And if I would, for who is your audience for ordering it? I mean, what could I do with it if I ordered 4?
For now, actually, that's he still has to be a little bit of a geek. Actually, if you want to use it in your home, it's doable actually. But you have to have an app listening to it. But you already see now in app stores popping up kind of if this then that.
That's
kind
what I
of.
want to say, because I made possible a Kickstarter project I think 2 years ago or something, and there is a meter of sense. What do you call it? How dry or how wet it is in my cellar, and etc. And I can then myself with if this and that, then that sort of stuff.
You can let your lamps go blue if something
that sort of stuff, or send me an SMS if this or that happens.
No, and they are now evolving actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're in a retail or in your other kind of museum, what and you have dedicated own app. I mean, so we're focusing now on the app developers. I mean, we are organizing a Glimmer Experience Day where app developers can really meet the beacon and hands-on experience, use our libraries to come up with their apps and integrate it actually really easy inside those apps that has to be listening, because that's the main thing. I mean, we are supplying the sending part, we supply all the libraries, but you still have to have an installed app on your phone that listens to this beacon.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will go nuts if you walk through a big retail store.
Yeah. Hey, this is of course a mobile thing on its own, so it's not built in another thing. So that's a deliberate thing.
But also, what's deliberate about the design, which is quite unique, is that you can take this and you can.
It's a good snap.
Oh man! There we go. Pop it out.
Yeah.
So you don't need the case. The case can be adapted for any application, but this can be mounted underneath the table or in whatever you want to.
Yeah. Hey, and you say there is mass production as well, but then are you going to be the mass player yourself, or are you say the organization that does say the prototyping, shows proof of concept, and then sells it to someone else?
Well, what we've been experiencing a lot is we've been approached by a lot of creative agencies as well as developers that have their own client base and their own set needs, as well as large multinationals that have concepts and their internal IT people. And we've been talking to them about use cases and prototyping as well, specific hardware solutions and integration into their existing infrastructures. So we see ourselves as making the technology, the hardware, enabling it through Open API and Open SDK, supporting it, and helping people use it. So enabling use, and then just gathering a lot of partners to help then distribute.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, for now, actually we're producing it ourselves. I mean, that's what we're partnering for, where Glimroom has all the experience in the software. Actually, we have all the experience in manufacturing and actually get this on the road with large quantities. So we do the injection molding design all by ourselves. And actually, we're now producing the bigger numbers. And that also gives us the really edge to do all the customization, different colors, different logos, different packaging. And actually, we're now also already designing new kind of beacons that are watertight, waterproof, or very mobile, or all different kind of directions.
USB powered is a big request we get.
Can you tell me something about that manufacturing, etc.? Because, for example, earlier said, I've done quite a few Kickstarter projects, but of course those people have ideas, and then they need to get it on the market.
Yeah.
They have to go to China, wherever they go to find the right place. How much of a hassle has it been to get this sorted?
It helps actually that we have some experience in it, but as you will see about there was some delays. Yeah, we started I think mid-December with the idea, and actually started up drawing the molds and everything in January. Injection molding actually wasn't a problem at all. The electronics actually was the biggest problem. Actually, and that's the funny thing, because iBeacon is still so fresh. You see that there are very few trustworthy, nice quality Bluetooth chips out there. That we had to rely on. So those were a big supply chain.
Who are your competitors? Who are the people that are busy and active with it as well?
Estimote is the biggest one, absolutely. But we're working on points of different campaigns. So we're very different from any of our competitors. There's probably about 10 major beacon manufacturers in the world right now, and we're positioned quite well. Our points of difference is about we're very flexible. So Estimote, for instance, it looks like a rock. It only comes in 3 colors. It's a silicone cover. You can't get to the battery easily. Ours is built to then you can get a branded cover. You can get a different color, and we are selling branded covers to large companies, and you can make it blend in. Then you can also take out the hardware and then integrate it into something. So as far as the Netherlands goes, we're the first, but not the only. I think there's one other company that's doing it, but their software is not open. It's proprietary.
And also because not only brandability, we also have our small processor extra on the board.
Yeah, it's true.
It gives a lot of extra possibilities to add sensoring like we added before. Mm-hmm. So it's not only the location, but we also very open to add sensoring like moist or light or movement, whatever.
Yeah. Hey, if I ask you personally, what sort of a use case or coming use case are you most enthusiastic about? And I don't mean business-wise, but solution or
awesome solution?
Yeah. What is awesome? What do you see for you?
What I see is okay. This is the complicated answer. Well, first of all, there's 1.2 billion smartphones in use in the world right now, and it's going to be 2 billion by the end of 2015. Gartner predicts there's going to be 25 billion IoT-connected data supplying items by the end of 2020, if not sooner. So I see the beacon as creating a whole new value chain. I'll give you an example. A large multinational beer brand, we talked to them about point of entry. People have to have a reason to use the beacon. They have to have a clear reason. So we said, well, if you're at a festival, you can create Find My Friend app, right? So it's sort of a micro navigation app. It also gives you relevant information about who's playing, what music, where, when. Find my friend, tell them to meet me here at this tent, right? It's a valuable app. It's simple, it's clear, it's easy. You download the app, hey, get a free beer, thank you, right? But it doesn't end there. Okay, so that's where beacons would be placed around the festival. But then you leave the festival and it says, hey, thanks for using the Find Your Friend app. The next time you're at a bar, go to a Heineken bar.
Or something else, or
another bar,
or a Grols bar, or whatever. Yeah,
and
it can be every bar.
Any bar.
Yeah.
And you can get a free beer.
Yeah.
But then then use the app in that bar, and why would the bar want the beacon in the bar? It says, well, you're in the bar, rate this bar, and send it to your friends. And then it creates more relevancy. And it doesn't stop there. Then when you're leaving the bar, it can say, hey, thanks for using the app. Thanks for rating this bar. You know, the next time you're at the supermarket, when you want to buy some beer, here's a coupon for 20% off. So then you go to the grocery store and there's a beacon there. So I think
it can be your whole experience.
It just creates more opportunities based on what we call context marketing. Something happening at a very specific place at a very specific time for a very specific reason that creates value. Does that kind of explain
definitely.
it?
For me, it's way shorter actually.
Yeah? Tell me.
The best beacon experience is the dramatic entrance music player. That actually, if you enter a room and the beacon sees it, it will start playing Eye of the Tiger anytime you walk in the room. It can't get even better than that. Keep it simple.
There's a lot of simple benefits to it.
Dramatic entrance music.
One of the most simple examples that I saw was from a beacon hackathon called Bring Home the Beacon in San Francisco.
Yeah.
One of the teams attached a iBeacon sensor for moisture on a life vest. So if you're in a boat and if you go overboard, the sensor then sends a signal immediately to
It
alert
knows you went overboard and
there's somebody overboard and to save them and where they are.
That's a really good one as well. Yeah. Hey, we're talking about a future where everything is connected through different devices. How soon do you think we are there? Because let's face it.
We're already there.
Yeah, are we?
Yeah. There are a lot more devices connected already in your home than you might know. I mean, there are espresso machines with SIM cards in there that just send what kind of Nespresso you're making.
But we don't do enough with it. Is that maybe?
Yeah, that's the next thing. Yeah.
There's, according to Gartner research, there's 8 billion connected items, IoT items. But that's mostly, I'd say, for infrastructure, for mobility infrastructure.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, think about TomTom and things like that.
Yeah.
And navigation.
It's getting bigger, but doing something with it and getting used to it. I mean, some people really love to press the button to know for sure that something has been done.
Yeah.
But if a device, if you walk out of the door, I mean, with a beacon you can lock down your whole house, put all the lights off, put the heating off, and if you go back home, all the lights can go back on. But you only have to. A lot of people want to check it securely, want to do it it's a shift of thought.
Shift. That's what we are used
but,
to. Yeah.
If you really think about the hardware revolution on its own, we're already there. It's no problem
I
at all.
quite like the things to do it because I forget all those things myself, and then I have to go back because I said, did I lock the door? Didn't I lock the door? So this is or did I? Then I put something on the. I'm cooking stuff, and I forget about it. I was cooking something, and we do something else again. So I think they can help me.
Helps a lot.
They can help me a lot. Okay, guys, thanks a lot, and have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Super. Cool.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.